How many of you have had a bumpy road learning how to make El Reuteri yogurt? We did, most of our clients have, but there's a few easy keys that are going to give you perfect or near perfect or very perfect yogurt virtually every time. So let's take a few minutes tonight, make a batch of El Reuteri yogurt, what I call the easy way, so that you have success making great food in your kitchen. So the first component of making great El Reuteri yogurt, or any yogurt, is having good equipment. We cook all of our meals at home. We eat out very little. So buying good equipment is just part of our daily lifestyle for health eating process. So we generally use the ultimate yogurt making machine. Comes with the benefit of being able to adjust the temperature up or down and the time up or down. Most yogurt makers just come with one temperature and one time. They don't give you the ability to adjust that. So if you buy something different, make sure that you can adjust the temperature, because we set this at 95 degrees for our El Reuteri. We set it at 110 for our El Gasserai. Now, when you order it, you've got a choice of ordering 2 of these 8-ounce containers with it. They fit right in here. Or you get 8 of these 5-ounce little single serving containers, snack servings. What I recommend you do is order it with the set of quart ones, and then order a separate set of the little cute ones. Because why? We are making yogurt all the time, and it takes like 36 hours to make it. If you only have one set, you're not going to have a flow to making your yogurt. Does that make sense? In other words, we take the one batch out, and we're going to start making more before we run out of yogurt in the other jars. The other option you have for cooking this is a sous vide machine. Now, we use sous vide weekly for our meat, for roast, for steaks, for brisket. It's an amazing device. We use the Innova 2.0, just their basic sous vide device. And the benefit to the sous vide machine is you can make more. So you can actually make 4 quarts. You can actually make 4 quarts of yogurt at a time. 1, 2, 3, or 4 quarts. You can put 4 quarts in here. And if we're traveling or going someplace and we just need to be ahead on yogurt, we will use this. The other benefit to this is that the temperature is exact. So when we cook in here, we set it exactly at 99 degrees. When we cook in the ultimate yogurt maker, we found this is a big piece. This is like the most important thing to getting great yogurt. The temperature in this fluctuates, kind of gets out of control. Sometimes it's 95, sometimes it's 99, sometimes it's 100. So if you set this at the recommended 99 degrees, what's going to happen is it can go up to maybe 105. We've actually tested it. It can go up, and that extra temperature kind of messes things up. So this we set at 95, so it's got some variations. Now, you need a wire whisk. I got a 2-quart glass mixing jar because that's just easy. We make yogurt about every other day, so that's important. And just for fun, I like using these little quart spatulas. Much easier when you are putting all of this together. So I think that's everything we have for equipment. And we'll come back next and talk to you about the ingredients you need. Let's take a look at our ingredients. If you want a quality product in your kitchen, you need quality ingredients. One of the reasons we make virtually everything we eat is we can control the ingredients. Ingredients are really tough when you're eating out these days. So let's look at where we start. The first thing you're going to need is some El Reuteri starter. These are from Oxytocix. And we order these online. I'll put the link below. You're only going to need 1 of these to get your yogurt started. When we have friends and clients in and they want to get started, we just give them starter out of our current yogurt. But you can either go with yogurt or with this. Not yogurt. You can go with El Reuteri yogurt starter from somebody that's already made it, or one of these. If you're getting these, they're $45 for 30 of them, and they'll last a long time. You can share them with friends and family, have them for backup. And occasionally we've got people that don't like yogurt, so they just order the El Reuteri capsules and take 1 of those a day to get the similar benefits. It's just not as strong, and in the long run, it costs you more money. The second thing you need after you have your starters, you need to decide on which dairy you're going to use. Now, we pretty much only buy what's called A2 dairy. It's got a different protein structure in it, and people who have in the past been having troubles digesting lactose find that this is much more digestible, much easier to work with. So we just get the very best quality we can. 2 brands that are available to us locally. One is called Origin, and the other is called Alexander's. So what I generally like to do if it's available is I'll take 2 bottles of 16 ounces of half and half, and I'll just make the whole thing with half and half. If you don't have access to half and half, your other choice is to take solid cream or regular whipping cream and milk. And this is the Alexander A2 milk, grass-fed milk. So I can do half of this and half that. So your choice is half and half or get 2 of these. The other thing you'll see when we make it is that generally this is not quite enough to fill up all those little containers. So I will add just a little bit of milk to these. The next thing you need is feeder. The yogurt needs feeder. So we use inulin from chicory root. We use organic inulin. There's a lot of different options available on Amazon and in your health food store, but this one has worked well for us. I'll put the link for that down below as well. So you have your inulin, you have your starter, either the capsules or the yogurt, and then you have your dairy, half and half, or whipping cream mixed with milk. All right, so you're either making it from starter or you're making it from capsules. If it's your first time, you're making it from capsules. And again, I would recommend you get this particular brand. They're stronger, they work better. You can just store them in the cabinet in a cool place. So what you would do, I'm not going to use these because when you start the first time with these, the yogurt tends to come out a little bit runny, cottage cheesy. That's just somehow what L-reuteri does when it gets going. Now, the challenge with L-reuteri is it's a growing organism, and it's kind of fickle about how it grows. So that's why getting all of these components and parts right matters. So you take one of these, open it up, and add a tablespoon, a scoop, of the inulin to it. That becomes your starter. Most of the recipes you find out there have you using 2 scoops of inulin. And what we found was 2 scoops just caused it to grow and bubble too much. It got too everything. It just didn't come out great. When we switched to 1 scoop, that was the magic that made it work better virtually every time. So one of these or 2 tablespoons of the actual, your yogurt that you currently have. You see how nice and creamy that is? Okay, so we're just gonna put 2 tablespoons in here. I do just a smidge more because somehow it feels good to do a smidge more. Now, what I used to do is I always did a smidge more on this, and that was where the problem was, okay? So now what we've got to do is add our cream to this. We're just gonna add a little bit so that we can whip this into a little bit of a slurry. All right, so we just want to get this into a slurry. Now, once you get this all figured out and going good, it's like less than a 10-minute process to make your L-reuteri yogurt. You no longer will be buying what I call the junk from the store. It's not potent, it's not strong, it's got sugars, it's got a lot of stuff in it that's it's a waste of time and energy. You think you're eating good stuff? You can make really great stuff at home with a little bit of equipment. Okay, so there's 1 quart of cream and, not cream, half and half, and 2 quarts of half and half. We just mix this up very nicely and easily. Now, that comes out right at 1 quart. When I make this in our machine, I usually use 4 of those cute little serving cups and a quart-size container. It actually is more than 1 quart when I do that. So I add about 1 cup of milk to this. You can adjust it based on how much you're making and what containers you're using. But just adding a little bit more milk makes it work just perfect for filling up my containers. All right, that's all there is to that. And now we simply put it in the containers. Simple and easy. It took me a little bit to learn how to do this without spilling. So let's see if we can do it without spilling tonight. Slow and easy. The other thing that we learned early on, we make 2 different strains of yogurt. We make the L-reuteri and we make the L-gasseri. We tried mixing the 2 when we were making them. That does not go well. The 2 yogurts compete with each other. And so if you want to mix them, we make the 2. I actually have the other ones in the fridge. We make them separately, and then we mix them when we're eating them. So the little technique for that is I just take a piece of colored tape and I put this on the L-reuteri ones or the L-gasseri. So I put a little mark on it so I know which is L-reuteri and which is L-gasseri. So we keep track of them that way. And then we have our quart container. And again, this is simple and easy. So good for you. Now, the 4th component to making great yogurt, I almost forgot to tell you that because I said there's 4. The 4th component is you need to make this with love. We cook food for our friends and family every day, And food is just one of those pieces that brings people together. It connects people. Good food connects people. And L-reuteri is actually known, one of its primary benefits is it supports and encourages the growth of the hormone oxytocin. Oxytocin is the hormone that connects us, it bonds us, it creates attraction. Oxytocin is an essential hormone for human relationships. So this yogurt actually supports and encourages the production of oxytocin. So it's sometimes by some folks called the love yogurt. So it always reminds me when I'm making this, when I'm cooking, I don't want stress, I don't want tension. I just want to have love and joy in my cooking, because then that's what I share with my friends and family when we share our food. All right, those go in here just tighter than a bug in a rug. That's very easy. And then we have to fill this up with water. I start out with water that's warm, gives it a little kickstart. And you just want to fill it right up to the edge of where the yogurt is, which is basically to the top of the machine. If you're using the sous vide machine, you will need to fill the water all the way up so that it comes up to the top of where the yogurt is in the jars. Okay, and when we're done with this, I will set this for 95 degrees. That's the other key, not 99 in this machine, 99 in the sous vide machine. We'll set it for 36 hours. Now, last thing you want to think through, this is going to cook for 36 hours. You need to be thinking about when it's going to come out. If I want yogurt in the morning, I make this at night. So right now it's about 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. That means it'll be 7 o'clock tomorrow night, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, it will be done. You can cook it for 35 to 36 hours, but you don't want it to overcook, because if you overcook, it starts dying off. So coming out at 36 hours, we make it in the evening. So it goes evening and then half a day to the morning, and it comes out perfect that way. Just don't cook it in the middle of the day, because you're going to end up in the middle of the night getting up to fix it. All right. So we'll come back and taste this when it's done and show you how easy it is to make and enjoy great L-reuteri yogurt. So 36 hours later, and you got to watch that so that it doesn't overcook. Remember, overcooking, not good. It reduces the count of your bacteria. So when it comes out of that, it's hot. It'll be a little bit liquidy. Put it in the refrigerator and let it cool for a couple hours so you're down to a nice solid product. Now, this is what we get. This is our L-reuteri. And you see, we've just got a great creamy product. We get this all the time now. Occasionally, you'll get some liquid in there. Occasionally, it'll be a little cottage cheesy. If that happens, don't worry about it. Use that to make your next batch with. This is, in all reality, a little bit tart. Some people like tart, some don't. I sweeten mine with just a few drops of Lakanto monk fruit. This is their liquid monk fruit. So when I'm mixing it up, I'll put 4 or 5 drops of this in. This gives it a nice sweet tart taste together. There's some controversy on whether or not to put fruit with this. Some people like fruit, some don't. I've noticed that in the evening, fruit doesn't work for me, but for breakfast, I like organic, fresh, in season, American grown blueberries. I think those are awesome. Same thing with raspberry. I only eat fruit as much as when it's coming from the United States. I try to avoid fruit that's been shipped for 2 weeks to get here. So that's going to give you your breakfast, your lunch, or your snack, sometimes your dinner. It's awesome. You're going to love it. Thank you for joining us in our kitchen. We bless you to enjoy learning to cook great food for you, your family, and your friends. So I just made a batch of L-reuteri from the capsules. I want to show you guys what that looks like. This is the first batch coming out of this. I'm going to take this tonight and make another batch with this as my starter instead of the pill. So you can see it's got a lot of liquid in it. It's kind of lumpy and cottage cheesy. Okay, so it's not going to be real tasty. And what I should have done is I should have made a half a batch. That would have saved me some money. But this is the first batch with the capsules, and you're not going to like that too much. So we will convert this to another batch of L-reuteri and use this as the starter. So starting the new batch with 1 scoop of inulin, and looks like I end up with about 3 tablespoons of the L-reuteri first batch. And from here, you'll just continue doing exactly what we did at the beginning of this video. And then each batch will become the starter for subsequent batches going forward. And I'll just run up on the screen here quick images of all of our ingredients, our yogurt maker, and our sous vide machine. Hopefully you'll enjoy making yogurt, making healthy food for your family, And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button so that you can join us in our kitchen as we continue to teach you how to make healthy, wonderful, amazing food for you, your family, and your friends.